Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for staying tuned. This is part 2 of my Makita XGT battery solution within my Milwaukee Packout case. Now I've got a few ideas, so I'm going to show you the one that I think is going to build best, and also I discovered a slight issue with this system at the top here, so I need to find a way on how to correct it. So don't go anywhere, because this is how I do it. As you can see, I've torn off the very base piece of the foam that was originally in here. And I've done that for two reasons. Firstly, it gets over these plastic runners. And secondly, if I were to drop a battery in the bottom of the case, it would hopefully prevent any damage from happening to those batteries. But the idea I've got now for fixing in my batteries is that on both sides, there are these runners. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take a piece of 18mm plywood and I'm going to run a piece right the way across, cut a groove so it slots straight over, and then using StealthMounts, I'm going to attach that to the timber and then clip the batteries in. The only thing I really need to make sure of is that when I close the lid, it doesn't interfere with the actual charger itself. So in measuring the box, we have 48.6 centimeters at the top, and it tapers towards the bottom to give me 48 centimeters. So what I've had to do is I've obviously had to measure it all out, and I've had to mark out what the taper is going to be. Now, the way I managed to get those measurements was like this. To measure the height, I took a piece of scrap timber like this, just laid it across the top of the box, and then just measured to the center point. And then, just moving the camera quickly on this one, to measure the depth of the actual charger, I did the same thing, whereby I took the same piece of wood, took it to its deepest point, and then measured against the back of the lid. And then obviously subtracting that would give me that distance. Now the left to right on here, just change the camera of the angle of the camera for you. Now to get these two, it's a bit of a guesstimate really. You've got to go from side to side and you have to bend the tape over to get the distance. And the same down at the bottom. And I suppose I could have used a laser, but I don't have that on me right now. So, moment of truth. Perfect. Just laid out my XGT batteries, and you can see that the 4 amp hour is much larger than the 2.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bunch these three up a little bit closer, and I'm going to space these two out a little bit more, because at some point I'm probably going to want another bigger battery. And on the other side of this board is where the LXT ones are going to go. I don't need as many as these, so the space that's left will allow me to use the leftover brackets so I can add some more XGT stuff, including these. But I do have to admit I am one or two of these short, so I'm going to have to get some more of those at a later date. Well, this has worked out really well. I've got a 2 centimeter gap off the edge to start with, which leaves me a 2 centimeter gap between the first and second, same with the second and third, and then an extra 5mm gap between the 2.5 amp hour and the 4 amp hour battery, which leaves me another 2.5 centimeter gap, and then I finish with 2 centimeters again. So that maths just couldn't work out any better. So let's screw it all together, put the LXT batteries on the back, and then put it in the unit. So there you go, you can see that I've got all my XGT batteries on one side, I've got my LXT across there, and I've got the charger adapter there. There's even enough space for one of the old single chargers for one of those times where you only need your drill or your impact driver on site. You don't want to take all your tools in and the battery goes flat, so you can just take that one unit in with you, charge that up, carry on the job without taking everything else with you. So on to the problem that I discovered. Now, when I built this, I knew weight would be a bit of a problem, but I didn't realise this would happen. And I should have done really. It's kind of a simple thing really. But when I put a battery into the charger, the lid wants to close. So I've got to come up with a locking mechanism that will stop that from happening. So my temporary solution is just to cut a piece of wood and use it as a wedge. And I've put an angle on the bottom and the top edge to stop it from slipping. Now, I say temporary because obviously it's not fixed in there. It can get lost. It's easily damaged, and I'm sure it'll fall to bits pretty quickly. And also, I want to hear your suggestions. I want to hear your ideas on how I can solve the problem of this lid from closing. Now, you're probably all saying to me, I've created a problem for a solution, for a problem that doesn't exist. But I love my Makita stuff and I love the Packout stuff, and I just wanted to put it all together and make it work for me for when I'm on the job. And hopefully it's given you guys some ideas of what you could do. Maybe you've already done something like this. I'd love to hear it. Please put your comments below. So thanks again for watching. I hope you've liked this video, and I hope to see you all again very soon. And like I said, if you've got any ideas, please let me know. The best one that I think is out there that you guys give me, I will make, and I will turn it into a short so you guys can see it later on. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you again soon.